Greg Gutfeld. Here's what's coming up. 38 days to go, and one of these candidates has just received a stunning rebuke of the Star Trek cast. You know what they say, as Star Trek goes, so goes the nation. Wait, they never say that, never at all. The most underreported story of the week, violent crime rose in 2015. Seems kind of important leading up to an election, don't you think? And what do naked Katy Perry and not naked Gary Johnson have in common? Beats me, but Kat's got something to say about both of them in the catalog. Let's get started, America. I think I left my pants in the park. There you are. Yes. Let's welcome tonight's guest, shall we? He's so tough, he flosses with piano wire. Former Florida Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. He's so bright that deer freeze when they see him coming. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, the legend. His new book is called Erectile Dysfunction. Sounds filthy, but it isn't. Her misery hates company. It's National Review reporter. Can't say it, Cat Tim. And finally, a hula hoop is his toe ring. TNA wrestler Tyrus. Yeah. But first. All right. The nerds have spoken. Star Trek is anti-Trump. On Facebook, yes, it's true, hold yourselves, a bunch of chuckleheads from Star Trek franchises inked a petition telling fans not to vote for Donald. They wrote, quote, "Never has there been a presidential candidate who stands in such complete opposition to the ideals of the Star Trek universe." Wow. So, does that mean Donald will lose the vote of men in their late 30s who've never seen an actual female breast? Doesn't mean Trump loses the adult sweaty male vote who fondle novelty action figures while in their torn boxers? And what of the balding, bearded contingent who still sleep in the same bunk bed that they previously stained as a child, still located in their distraught parents' home? Could be, except that one person didn't sign it, and it's the only one who matters.
I've lost a man. I've lost the Enterprise.
Oh, man. Brando could not hold a candle to him. But it's not just Star Trek going after Trump. The UN News Center tweeted this and then pulled this post that called for 9 million Americans abroad to stop Trump. Now I'm thinking, that should be a badge of honor. The UN has turned a blind eye to so much atrocity, yet bravely goes after Trump. Screw you. The UN criticizing you is like Genghis Khan calling you cruel. It's like Anthony Weiner calling you lewd. It's like Ivan the Terrible calling you terrible. Shut up, you freeloading clowns. Lastly, there's USA Today saying, don't vote for Donald. Now, has anyone ever taken advice from USA Today? It's our nation's school paper, without the review of Pippin. They always had Pippin in my school. Meanwhile, Trump continues tweeting in the wee hours of Friday morning about, you guessed it, the beauty queen. He wrote this: "Did crooked Hillary help disgusting? Check out sex tape in past. Alicia M. become a U.S. citizen so she could use her in the debate." Well, no, Donald. She laid the bait during the debate.
He called this woman Miss Piggy. Then he called her Miss Housekeeping because she was Latina. Donald, she has a name.
Where did you find
her
this?
name
Where
is
did you find
Alicia
it?
So
Machado.
Now, he could have let it go, but no, he let it get to him all week, turning a love handle into 30 pounds of ugly flab. And what of the sniffing?
But perhaps we'll be talking about that later. So many, hundreds and hundreds of companies are doing this. Our country's in deep trouble. We're the best ever at it.
Now, Trump blamed the mic, and he's probably right, but Howard Dean disagreed.
So following a bunch of sniffles, Governor Dean, you wrote on Twitter, notice Trump sniffing all the time. Coke user? Why did you go there?
Well, you can't make a diagnosis over the television. I would never do that. But he has some interesting, that is actually a signature of people who use cocaine.
That from an actual doctor who once did this.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
So I'm wondering, what drug causes that? All of them. All of them. Somebody better check the doctor's prescription pad, eh? If I were a doctor, that thing would be empty. So Dean since apologized, so we went to Donald for a comment.
Take it off your head. Come on, baby. You can do this. You can do it. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Typical cokehead. They use it and they run away. Actually, that was Roger Clinton. So, looking back, Hillary finessed Donald, and he still seemed to have pulled back during the debate. Maybe to him, the debates are like a 3-day rock festival where you save all the good drugs till the end. But why would he lay off Hillary? Who would tell him to go quiet? Maybe that's the best debate prep of all. Practice how long you can remain silent. Well, that was stupid. And I get paid for that crap. Colonel West, you got Star Trek cast members, producers, and writers. You have the UN, you have USA Today going after you. Isn't this a good sign?
Well, you know, I have always kind of been privy to the Romulans and the, what was the other guys, the Klingons.
Yes.
You know, they're very warlike.
Yes.
But, you know, maybe, you know, we can resurrect Spock and he can do the Vulcan mind mail, and that can help Donald Trump for the next debate. But I think without a doubt he needs to get some of those breathe right strips, you know, for the next debate, and that'll help him with the whole sniffing thing. But, you know, it's amazing to me with all the things that are going on in the country right now. And we're sitting up talking about some, I don't know, some Miss Universe 20 years ago.
Right.
I mean, 20 years ago, I was running around getting shot at by bad guys. I mean, I think that's a little bit more important. But, you know, I think Trump needs to, instead of worrying about the art of the deal, he should read Sun Tzu's Art of War. Because he needs to understand the strategic environment. He needs to understand how you take, you know, an opposition's perceived strength and you turn it against them. Because there's no doubt about it that when he, after those first 30-some-odd minutes of that debate, they said, okay, we're going to change the direction of this debate. We're going to get him off the game. And he fell for it. And he continues to fall for it.
Yeah, he can't let it go, can he?
He can't let it go.
Can't, Alan, I mean, it's like that opposition research they did on on Trump must have worked. I almost said Bill Clinton. They kind of remind me of the same thing. But anyway, it worked because they knew what would push his button. And then he started pushing it all week. He wouldn't stop.
But they still haven't found the sex tape, the Donald Trump sex tape. The key is that if they did, he would still get the support of many people he's getting. The only thing that makes me have any doubt, I'm a tremendous Hillary Clinton supporter until you told me that the UN is opposed to Trump. I'm now reconsidering my vote.
There you go.
That's not serious. Even the UN couldn't get me to vote against Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
look, I've known Hillary for years and years and years. She's a terrific, terrific woman. And I don't know why she doesn't...
They're booing your friend.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, give me a chance here.
This is a volatile election. And I mean, we're talking about a beauty queen. And he's tweeting it at the middle of the night. Is that? But do you think it even matters?
Here's the thing. You want to be Miss Universe.
Right.
And there's not a spelling test to get in there, typically.
No.
Just like you want to be a professional wrestler, you want to be in the NFL, you want to be an actress. You're selling your body.
Right.
So there's rules, and when they talk to you about your body.
Yes.
So if you, perfect example, when I was in the WWE, I took my sweet time walking up the ramp one day, and the boss didn't like it. So he told someone to go tell me when I came back, he said, the boss said lose 50 pounds. By when? Monday. It's Wednesday. See you Monday. Did he fat shame me? Yes, he did. But I use my body on TV, and the people who pay me, if they don't like the way my body looks, they're going to tell me a certain way. And it's 1990, and that's the way they talk. Football coaches, if you came into camp 2 pounds overweight, you were fatty McFat, and you were slow, and you're going to go back to hustling on the corner, selling your body. They say whatever is to motivate you. The things that he was doing to her were, by now, with PC and stuff.
Yeah.
Back then, he was motivating her to meet her contract that she signed. Her body was what got her there. She gained 60 pounds. Yeah. He's going to call her Miss Piggy. But he's going to say, and here's the thing about the housekeeping.
Yeah.
It was racist because we say now it is, but back then, what was her turnout? What else was she doing?
I don't know.
And you're going to end up being a housekeeper. You don't get your game right. That's what you say to somebody to
motivate. I guess
it's real.
Yeah. I want you to stand in front of my
ghetto if you don't get your stuff right. You'll be with your homeboys selling drugs if you don't get your grades up and you don't start playing well on the football field. That's what they talk.
If that had been the only thing, but he played into a narrative. When he talked about the blood, when he talked about calling women dogs, when he talked about if you're flat-chested you can't get a 10. It played into a narrative.
He needed to steer that off, Kat, right? He needed to go into, he has to influence educated women. He needs the educated women. This doesn't help, does it? Or does it? Do they react? Do they react the way Tyra says and goes, look, I'm tired of all this BS PC stuff?
If I got fat and nobody told me, I would be furious. I'm serious. I want to know. I mean, she probably, I agree with what you're saying, that, it does feed into this narrative that makes people uncomfortable. He doesn't really need any more of that kind of thing. But, if someone's mad at you for any reason, even in relationships, if you go, I'm so sorry, then, they like that. Yeah. They're like, oh, they must really have been wrong. If you're like, look, I'm sorry, but, can you forgive me or not? And you act like it's not a big deal, then people forgive you faster.
That's something I need to learn.
He should have let it go, and then we would have let it go a lot faster rather than being like, by the way, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me, I represented a Penthouse magazine many years ago, and a woman who posed...
I've never heard of that. What is that magazine? So is it about real estate in New York, about penthouses?
I think that's right.
Yes.
Rich people at the top. So a woman applied for the job to be the penthouse whatever of the month.
Yeah.
And then she filed a complaint against the publisher saying, he wanted me to be naked. And of course we won. That's the job.
The same thing happened to me when I was in National Geographic.
Right.
By accident.
But this is where I want to take it back to. If I had been up there on that stage and Hillary Clinton brought up something from 20 years ago, I said, Miss Clinton, 20 years ago in State of the Union address, your husband said the era of big government was over. Do you guys talk to each other? I mean... You got to shift it.
I had poll numbers here.
It was hard to watch. It looked like couples therapy with Lester Holt.
It was a terrible debate.
Terrible debate?
A terrible debate. The first half of it, you had to be a professor of economics to understand the impact of NAFTA and this and the other on everybody's paycheck. Neither candidate spoke to the average American and told them, explained to them how various policies impact their daily life. It was a bad debate.
I got to wrap it up, but I kind of enjoyed the debate. But I had been drinking, so generally I could just stare at anything.
Were you watching it with the sound on or off?
I had it up, and I was shirtless.